Shabby chic is a popular decorating trend and technique that has made its way into scrapbooking. A simple definition for shabby chic would be distressed. Now you can have distressed paper on your scrapbook layout to create a more aged, homemade, and softer look for many of your scrapbook page elements and embellishments. To demonstrate this technique, we will be creating a layout using a variety of shabby chic techniques, including crumpling, sanding, and chalking. The supplies needed for this project are chalks, a black pen, a small piece of sandpaper, patterned paper, a die cut, cotton swabs and cotton balls for chalking, and pre-cut letter squares. Sanding the die cut will achieve a softer and aged look for the frame. Use a small piece of sandpaper to begin sanding the frame. Don't be afraid to sand in all different directions to achieve a rough, aged look. To create the textured background of the layout, tear a border and crumple the paper into a ball. If you are crumpling cardstock, you may want to wet the paper with a spray bottle of water, or run the cardstock under a faucet before wrinkling. Be careful not to tear the paper when you flatten it out, although small tears can also add to the shabby chic effect. If you have wet your cardstock, let it dry completely before working with it again. To add another distressed effect to this paper, use a piece of sandpaper to sand your crumpled paper. Sanding crumpled paper removes a layer of color from the raised creases. Since cardstock is the same color throughout the sheet, the sanding effect will not be as noticeable in a piece of cardstock as it is in a piece of patterned paper. A third level of distressing can be added with chalks. Use a cotton ball and a light brown chalk to add shadows to the crumpled and sanded paper. The chalk will stick nicely to the creased and sanded edges. Repeat the same process for the pink plaid paper. Adding chalk around pre-printed letter squares can also create a weathered and aged look. Brown, black, and gray chalk are all typical of shabby chic layouts. Chalk around the outlines of the letters in both brown and black. To mat each letter, use a square of the pink paper. Before trimming the strip into blocks, crumple and sand it to create the same distressed look as the rest of the page. Trim the strips into squares to serve as mats for each letter. Freehand an outline around each letter block with a black pen for a finishing touch. Next, adhere the letters to the pink blocks. Assemble your layout by applying adhesive to the back of each piece. Smooth the crumpled paper out as you glue it down to keep it from becoming too bulky. It is a good idea to use a strong glue to keep your crumpled paper adhered smoothly to your page. Shabby chic can bring a refreshing look to your die cuts and pattern papers and can add a certain homemade warmth to your page.